Ah yes, a Finland sunset across the field of barley. Someone should write a song about that. It stinks round here because it smells of creosote. Yes, I'm building another shed. Still holding.
Your dad's still doing it, so I'm just doing this.
You only have to leave the fish full day.
Go away!
Ah?
Go away.
So, rainbow shark, red tail shark and silver shark are all
Go
fine with fish.
Guess who's going to be on Homebrew Wednesday? Well, that's what happens if I let my wife have one of my 330ml bottles. It went straight to her head and then made her legless. Oh no, she already was. Anyway, yes, it sort of hit the mark. One bottle, I had two. You knew you had them, but for some reason it reacted with her in an interesting way for one bottle. But yeah, it's back to Homebrew Wednesday again. 113, is it? So I missed last week. Not a lot happened, other than continually running up the hospital with the mother-in-law being in. She's still in. Might be home this new week or not. Don't know. So I think it's gone on for about 6-7 weeks now. So let's get on with the Homebrew Wednesday stuff. I have got Steve Molson's Plot42 American Wheat Beer, which is from the Bible, Greg Hughes' book. So nice firm hiss. So it's definitely carved. Looks a bit darker than I remember mine. Started off a bit too quick, but we're getting there. Oh, I can smell that citra now. Smashing, super great. There we go. Nice clarity at the minute because I haven't set the yeast upon it. Bags of small carbonation bubbles coming out there, feeding that nice big thick head. 2-finger head. Got the classic citra smell, orange rind, and so we'll tuck into that shortly. I'm sure it looks darker than mine. I'll have to have a look because I think I've got one of mine left kicking around in one of the many boxes full of beer. But carrying on from last week, my little faucet bottle washer came in. I think it was missing one O-ring, although depending on which picture you looked at on what seller, the bits you got with it varied, but there is a little adapter. The standard fitting is your same as a garden tap or a washing machine connector 3/4. Then there's an adapter 3/4 to a, I don't know what that thread is, whether it's a UNF, but basically it does fit my monoblock mixer tap in the kitchen. If you take the little black aerating plastic device out, I wondered whether mine would come out because the tap's quite old, but it did work. The only problem I had was when you turn the tap on and there's sufficient pressure to close the valve, being that your bottle should go on, push the valve open and the mains water pressure blast in, that it was squeezing through the thread and making a nice spray pattern all over me in the kitchen, which in part may be down to the fact it's an old tap, or whether you just have to whack a little bit of PTFE around the thread, or the O-ring that never came with it may or may not have worked. But I'm not too worried because it won't be used really in the kitchen, because I shall have a dedicated sink with this connected onto a little wash machine outlet. There is a seal in the bottom for that, but yeah, it looks okay. It's exactly the same as the ones you can buy in the homebrew shops over here, but about half the price. But also got the I'm building a Corny Keg emergency survival kit, so I got two of the regular Cornelius pressure release valves, fresh ones. not the same as mine, because mine's a Firestone lid which has a little metal one, and they prove to be a bit elusive to get those if any of you have got them. I think one of the kegs I bought off of Norm has a Firestone lid with these small metal bleed valves, but I have found a supplier on the Chinese site who does them as a one piece, including the little bit that you would weld to the top. So I might bite the bullet, risk it, and buy one on the premise that the thread is the same as the Firestone kegs, so basically just unscrew it and put a fresh one in, because I don't think the lids will weld up too well. But my Corny Keg survival kit now includes 3 silicone lid washers, the seal washers that go around the dip tubes, and the 2 that go on top of the ball lock connectors. The only things you don't get is the smaller ones for the poppets, but all the sort of main ones that take the most wear and tear. And then for their silicone, the white lids, so they're a little bit. These ones, sometimes you can get a fatter one, designed to seal a little bit on lower pressure. But again, these were steel from a Chinese site. Basically for the 3 lids, and that cost round about what some people are charging just for that. I've seen this as dear as sort of £4.50, and I think this was about £5 something. So yeah, I think it's a bit of a must-have thing, because you don't want your gas getting lost due to a weak seal, and then if you do find a seal has let you down, you haven't got the parts to keep you going. So I've got those as backup, plus the little valves, so I'll keep them all in a little Corny Keg survival kit. I might even go for a replacement lid just in case. I've got the other one that was exchanged by the Homebrew company. Obviously this one is one of the little elusive metal connectors, so obviously if I get the one from China and it fits, I'm okay. I can order another one or a pair of them for spares, but they're about £5 each, these little bloody things, and I can get a lid for about 12 quid, so sort of, you know, what do you do? But yeah, so what else we got? Oh, the pumps came. I managed to do a little bit of sneaky research. These are the 12 volt variants, some of them are 24, the mag pumps. I think it cost me £26 something, just under 27 for the pair. Ordered from AliExpress, the Chinese site, but he's a UK seller, Chinese UK seller, because they turned up in a jiffy bag via raw mail. They didn't come, you know, airmail 3 weeks later from China, which is a bit of a bonus, although I'm still waiting for some of the bits to arrive. I have ordered, well, I haven't ordered, I've got them, another pair of cam locks for the valves. I've managed to find the 3-part ball valves for £8.51 a piece, which is still expensive, but it's cheaper than the cheapest one I could find, which was about £9.30. Normally, you know, I mean, if I wanted to do the build, you could use regular stainless steel ball valves, but it's going to be my build, so it's not being built for a Norfolk hillbilly price. But I'm saving money where I can, but the saved money is going in for the little better equipment. If I buy those, hopefully I shouldn't have to upgrade them or change them. They should last a good few years. So we've got those. I've got the female versions of, picked it out, I'll put it out again. Female version of the male fitting. That's threaded there, but I've got the other ones where they're in internal thread, so I've got 4 of those coming to fit on the end of the pipes, pump outlet and inlets. Then I'm sort of back up to just taking stock again. I haven't tallied up what I spent so far. I did do a halfway sort of tally, and it was about £120 build cost, which was everything, entailed in it, including the cabinet and the postage cost of that. So, although I haven't said that, if I'd have bought a new one, that would have been 50 quid just for the cabinet. So we've got a little ways to go to get all the equipment and then start cutting and wiring things up and getting to the interesting bit and converting the kegs. But we'll go back to the American wheat beer from Steve. Yeah, it seems it's got a nice mouthfeel, even though I haven't dumped the yeast in yet. You can feel that body from the wheat malt. Seems to have a slightly smoother, sweeter taste than I remember mine. Mine was a little bit sharper, but could be the blend of the citra hop, or water, or any number of things. It's smooth. It's got that sort of orangey citrus twang that you expect, because hop's called citra after all. That's the only, I believe that's the only hop you put in this one, so obviously it dominates over everything else. It's used as a bittering hop and the aroma flavour hop, and it works very well in this style beer. It's a great summer beer. I think the one I brewed was a little bit too strong. Still enjoyable, but it wasn't sort of a session barbecue beer, shall we say. But that is nice and smooth, nice colour, nicely balanced between the sweetness of the malt, the initial sort of sharp bitterness from the hop, then your fruit, then the smoothness. Nice aroma. It's not, some people refer to citra during stages of its life in beer as a bit catty or smelling of cat piss. Not being a cat fan, doesn't smell of cat piss, or horse piss, or dog piss, and I know what they smell like. So no worries on the aroma front. Getting a little bit of the bitter from the froth. It's got a good, yeah, nice lacing. That's going to stay there all the way down to the pint, I think. Still got a nice thick creamy head. The old wheat malt's doing its job. That is quite an enjoyable pint. Dump the yeast in. After all, it is a ice beer. You can see it's gone a little bit murky and it's now settling down to the bottom of the glass. You can see a little bit of yeast at the bottom in the cloud there. That's just changed the flavour ever so slightly, muted the citra somewhat. It's changed the mouthfeel. Just adding that little yeast in has changed the body. Slightly more wheaty now. That is super, mate. You've got no worries there with that beer. To be honest, this was, let me have a look, the American wheat beer from the Bible, 4.2%, brew in the bag, brew on his stovetop. Carbonation break. 2.252 kilograms of wheat malt, 1.7 grams of lager malt. I think when I done mine, I'd done a 50-50 blend, or my bag of lager malt, which was kicking around and needed using up, was 2 kilos, and I think I just done 2 kilos and 2.1 and up the lager ratio, which obviously yielded a little bit more sugars in mine, and I think the boil off rate was a little bit more severe. With a larger diameter pot, you're going to start losing more steam vapour, so you have to take that into consideration for your volumes. I think I've done it in my big pot, which is 70 centimetres across, I think. So that's it, mate. That's as good. I've never tried a commercial citra wheat beer, if there is such a thing. I've tried Oakham Citra. This is much more flavourful than the commercial variant, hop wise. That is as good as any commercial beer. Mimicked it you know, from a consumer point of view, they're going to be looking lacy, nice head stays there. A lot of people get a bit perturbed because it's cloudy, even though they'll have a bottle with the instructions on it. They're still on the phone next day saying there was something wrong with the beer. Customers, don't you just love them? Anyway, I can tell you, I believe, no more. I didn't have an acquisition of interesting beers last week. It was straight out home and off the hospital. So I don't think there's anything else to cover. I should be sorting things out for the other thing next week, hopefully. I'll know Wednesday, funny enough. So assuming I've got something to fill you with. As I say, beginning of the video, building another shed. It's only to replace the old one, not another one. Well, so we can fix the old one. But yeah, it's got to be done to move some other equipment around to further the garden modifications, which hopefully will start in earnest. I don't know who Ernest is. Right, I'm rambling. I could tell you about some other things, but I'd only bore you if I haven't already. See you next week. Cheers!